Good morning, students. I once again welcome you all to the online session. And you all know that we have been doing this lesson, a wonderful and interesting lesson, that is the last chain. And you all know how the child was the boy was so happy with his parents, going through the so many items, so many stalls and so many interesting things. And in the process, suddenly he found his parents missing. The moment he came to know that his parents were not there, the boy was panic stricken. Then he was running hither and thither, helter and skelter, in order to find his parents. Nobody was giving any reply, and the boy was crying at the height of his voice, and he was sobbing. And suddenly he found one temple, and he also went there. There was so much of crowd, nobody bothered about this boy, and people were going to inside. It was just like it was a mad rush, and the boy fell down. Nobody bothered about this boy, and he was being trampled. And the boy was crying and crying, "Father, mother, father, mother." And at that particular point of time, a kind-hearted man, he saw the plight of the boy and he wanted to help the boy. So he bent down and picked up the boy, and he just came out of that mad rush. And then what he did at that time, that's what we are going to discuss in this lesson. Okay. And so that kind-hearted man was asking this boy, he was holding him in his arms now. "How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you?" The man asked as he steered clear of the mass. The child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried, "I want my mother, I want my father." So this kind-hearted man, he picked up this boy, he just moved away from the crowd, and when he reached a safe and calm and quiet place, he was asking this boy, "My dear boy, how are you? What's your name? Why are you crying like this?" So he was putting some questions so that he can get some information. But the boy, when this kind-hearted man was putting his questions like this, the boy, instead of giving a reply to this man, stranger, he was just crying even more, louder. The boy was not giving any answer. On the other hand, he was crying more and more. Only thing is, "I want father, I want my father, I want my mother." So naturally, you can imagine the small children, supposing we miss our parents, we don't want anything. What all we require at that particular time, only we want our parents. We don't want anything at all. So when this man was putting questions, the boy was simply crying, "Mother, father, mother, father." See the difficult situation. The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. So the man thought, "No, let me take this boy," because the boy was very much worried and he was crying about his parents. So in order to divert his attention, let me do something about it. Therefore what he did, he just moved forward and he went to that roundabout. That is a Rangularata. Sometime back, the boy came to this particular spot along with his parents. You remember? And he was that was the point where he missed his parents. Because the boy was so fascinated with this roundabout. You know roundabout? I told you. That is a round like a thing will be there, a mechanical device where horses will be there, wooden horses, and the small children, they mount on the horse, then it start moving round and round, and children will really enjoy. So this particular kind-hearted man, he brought his boy along with him to this roundabout. My dear boy, see, this is a roundabout. They're very, very nice. You will feel very happy. Do you want to have a ride on this? He's asking. The kind-hearted man, he is asking this boy whether you would like to have a ride on this. Will you have a ride on the horse? He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he only shouted, "I want my mother and I want my father." The man was asking in a very, very pleasing manner, just in order to make the boy happy. Are you interested in this roundabout, my dear boy? It's very nice. You can just mount on the horse and it goes round and round. You feel very, very happy. Would you like to have a ride, a jolly ride on this? You know what happened? The boy said, no, nothing doing. And he never gave any reply. He raised his voice, the boy raised his voice, tone, and he was crying in a louder and big voice. I want my father and mother. He was not at all worried about the roundabout. Just, my dear students, try to imagine. Just a few minutes ago, the same boy who was so much fascinated to have a ride in that roundabout, the very same boy now, when that was offered to him, of course by somebody else, he flatly refused. Nothing, I don't want, I want only my parents. I want my father. I am not at all interested in this roundabout. What a change, try to understand. A short while ago, the very same boy who was so much fascinated and interested to have a ride on this roundabout, the very same boy now, of course, he missed his parents, and when the same roundabout was offered to him by somebody else, he was not at all interested and he flatly refused. I want my father and I want my mother. So try to understand. Why this difference? Why a short while ago he was so much interested and suddenly why he was not at all interested in that? What happened to him? Why this psychological difference? Try to understand. Okay. Then afterwards what happened? The man headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute with the swaying cobra. Listen to that nice music, child, he repeated. But the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted his double-pitched strain, I want my mother, I want my father. So what happened? The man thought perhaps the boy is not interested in this roundabout and they used to move forward. And again now they have come across the same place where a snake charmer was there. He was trying to play. And snake was, it raised his cobra and it was swinging on either direction according to the flute, according to the song played by this snake charmer. So the new man, the stranger, or the kind-hearted man who was carrying this boy with him now, they reached that particular spot and this man asked the child, my dear child, are you interested in this music? You see, you hear the music is so nice. Would you like to stand here for some more time and enjoy this music being played by that snake charmer. You see how many people are there? They are all enjoying. Let us also enjoy. Like that, the kind-hearted man was trying to tell this boy. He was trying to console him. He was trying to divert his attention from his parents. But what happened? The boy a short while ago was so much fascinated, was so much interested in this snake charmer, and in fact he was, he stopped there earlier when he was with parents. He liked it very much, and he liked the music of that snake charmer a short while ago. But now the very same boy, when he was brought to that particular spot, and when this kind-hearted man was asking this boy, would you like to enjoy this music for some more time? You know what was the answer given by this boy? He raised his voice and he was crying more and more. No, no, I don't want to stay here. I want only my father and my mother. You understand? I am not at all interested. I am not at all interested in the roundabout. Similarly, I am not interested in this snake charmer. What all I am interested in my parents. The boy was crying like that. He was asking my father, my father, my mother, my mother. Nothing else. And the boy was sometimes crying and sometimes sobbing, uncontrollable. And the kind-hearted man did not know what to do, because the boy was trying to, the boy was not listening to his words. Only one word is saying, father, mother, that's all. Why this happened? The fellow who was so much interested in all these activities a short while ago, when the same activities were offered to him, of course by a stranger, why this boy was showing a reluctance or unwillingness, and why he was asking only one thing, that is his parents. Why? What is it? Why it is like that? That we have to think. Okay? The child turned his eyes. Okay. Then afterwards, I want my mother, I want my father. The man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him. Would you like a rainbow-colored balloon? He persuasively asked. Persuasively, that means pleasingly, he asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloons and just sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. Then afterwards, this man, he took him to that balloons. The fellow was selling balloons. All these things happened earlier also. So at the beginning, what happened when he saw the balloons, and he was very much excited and he wanted to have one blue, so many colors, colorful balloons were there. But of course parents said no, but the boy wanted to have them. But now, this man, the kind-hearted man, took him to that balloon fellow, and he thought perhaps the boy, he might like this and stop crying and all such things. And he said, which balloon would you like to have, my dear boy? Would you like to have the yellow one, or would you like to have the green one? Or would you like to have the purple? Whatever the color you select, come on, you can take it. When the kind-hearted man was telling like that, persuasively, trying to console this boy or trying to distract the attention of this boy from his parents, you know what happened? The boy was insisting, no, I don't want any color of this balloon. I don't want the balloons at all. What all I require is, what all I want is my parents, my father, my mother. What is happening? A fellow who was so much interested in all these things, a few minutes back, afterwards, when the very same things which he liked most, then they were offered to him again, of course by a stranger, This boy was not interested to have them. He was not at all interested. Why? Why? This you have to imagine. The man, still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller said, "Look, can you smell those nice flowers, child? Would you like a garland to put round your neck?" The child turned his nose away from the basket and reiterated his soul, "I want my mother, I want my father." Then after some time, as they were passing like that, a fellow was selling gulmohar flowers, beautiful flowers, bunches, all that fellow came. So the stranger, the kind-hearted man thought perhaps the boy might be interested in these beautiful flowers or garland with the very good exotic smell and whatnot. So therefore, he put a question to this boy, "Why are you interested in these garlands? Why don't you have one or two garlands? You can really enjoy." The kind-hearted man said like that. You know what is the answer given by our little boy? No, I am not at all interested in this gulmohar or whatever it is. Even if you offer roses or whatever jasmine, I am not at all worried. I am interested only in my parents. Don't show me all these things. When I am crying for my parents, when I am crying for my father, when I am crying for my mother, you are showing all these things and asking me to enjoy. No, I don't know what to do. First and foremost, I want my father, I want my father. The boy started crying in a much louder way. So nothing in this world is going to please this boy. My dear students, try to understand. He is going to be pleased with only with the presence of his parents, no one else. In the process, you will show him sweets, gulmohar flowers, and so many other things of great interest round about. But the boy is not at all interested. And he is crying and crying and crying. And the kind-hearted man did not know what to do, how to make the boy pleased. He was really perplexed, very much confused, how to stop his crying. First and foremost, how to stop his crying. He was unable, but he continued his efforts. "I want only my father." Thinking to humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. "What sweets would you like, my child?" he asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, "I want my mother, I want my father." Then the kind-hearted man thought, perhaps there is one sweet stall nearby. Okay, let me take him to that sweet stall. And because there you find so many sweet items like the gulab jamuns, rasagullas, burfis, so many items are there. Generally, small children are very much fascinated with sweet items. So perhaps this boy also might be interested. So let me take him. So this man, kind-hearted man, took him to that sweet stall and he asked this boy, "Come on, my dear boy, why are you crying? You look at the sweets, so many sweets, mouth-watering sweets. Come on, choice is yours. Whatever sweet that you like, select and you can enjoy. Not one or two. How many sweets you want to have, you can have it. There is no restriction." The kind-hearted man said like that. You must remember the fact, the very same boy, just a short while ago, he was just standing there and looking at all these wonderful and mouth-watering, delicious sweets, and in fact he wanted to have one or two. But of course his father, his parents refused at that particular point of time. But he never disappointed. But he wanted to have them. But now, here is a stranger, a kind-hearted man who was offering so many sweets and the choice is yours. There is no restriction at all. Whatever you like, you have it, you enjoy it. Like that, the kind-hearted man was telling. But you know, strictly speaking, the boy would have grabbed some gulab jams or some rasagullas or some burfis. I want to have one more, and he would have talked, he would have behaved like that. But you know what the boy, what is it? The boy, he was just, he is trying to shut his eyes and mind to all these wonderful things in the fair. His mind, his eyes are filled with only his parents. So again he was shouting, he was, crying. No, I am not at all interested. I am not at all interested in your sweets. I want my parents. I want my mother and I want my father. As early as possible, try to take him to my parents. I will be so happy. Instead of that, you are taking me to the fair and you are showing so many things. I am not interested. Like that, the boy was crying and crying. Okay, so that their story ended. But here, the point for consideration, and you have to open up your imagination, my dear students, and you must think, why, as I have been putting the same question to you again and again. A small boy, 5 or 6 years old, was very much fascinated, wanted to have so many things in the fair, and in fact he asked his parents also, and unfortunately he missed his parents, and some kind-hearted man was trying to help him out to locate his parents. In the process, the kind-hearted man showed all the things which this boy had already seen. And he was very much interested at that time. The same items, the same things, when they were offered to him, of course by the kind-hearted man, the same boy went on refusing one after the other, which he liked very much in the initial stages. Why this is happening? That is what we have to understand in this lesson. You see, children, small children, they trust their parents. Trust, confidence, reliance, all these things. That was the reason why in the beginning of the lesson I was telling you, when our father, when we were all small children, father, sometimes he takes us, lifts us with our arms and trying sometimes to hold like this, and sometimes pushes in the air and then again picks us. So all these things we are not at all worried. We are not at all afraid, because we are in the safe hands of our Father. As long as you are in the safe hands of your Father, well, you will never feel frightened. Even if a tiger comes, even if a lion comes and roars, you are not at all worried, because your Father's presence is there. He is a man who will take care of everything. So as long as the child is with his parents, he is not at all worried. No doubt in the process he was asking this and that he was asking. But he was not worried. But the moment he was separated from his parents, then the whole world appeared to him total darkness. There was total darkness. Nowhere to go, what to do and what not to do. He was totally confused. So it is the presence of his parents which made him so happy. Try to understand. It is not that gulab jams or rasagullas or the gulmohar flowers or the insects or the butterflies or the doves or the balloons which made him happy. What really made him happy was his parents. So when once he was separated from his parents, he thought the whole world was shut. course, the kind-hearted man was trying to help him out, trying to make him feel happy, and trying to distract his attention. But the boy was not at all happy. He wanted only his parents. Nothing else would satisfy him. So, my dear students, so that is the mentality of small children. As long as they are in the custody of their parents, they will be very happy. So they always want parents' presence. So happened in this boy's case. Okay. Now the question is, you may have imagined there are some questions also. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think all of you must be having your textbook supplementary reader in your hands. Okay, there is one question which really calls for opening our imagination. So what answer are you going to give for this particular answer? That is question number 5. What do you think happened in the end? Does the child find his parents? What would have happened in the end? Because in this lesson you don't find that. The lesson ended like this. So what would be your conclusion? You have to imagine. You imagine that this stranger might have found his parents, and the parents, the last child and the parents, they were united, and the story ended on a happy note. What might have happened, that you have to imagine. If a question is asked like this, then you have to say, yes, I feel that the story ended on a happy note. As a child was weeping, crying, sobbing, this man, stranger, he was trying to find out his parents, and he was just inquiring like this. After some time, the parents also were very much agonized. See, as the boy was totally disturbed, similarly his parents also might have been panic stricken, and they might have been searching, and finally the last child and his parents were united, and they felt so much happy, and they conveyed their gratefulness to this kind-hearted man, because he was the person who joined the parents with their last child. Okay, like that you may have to answer. Of course, I will be giving some assignments from this particular lesson, but I will give you separately. That also you have to answer. And for all practical purposes, this lesson is over. And I would like to advise you that you once again read this lesson carefully, and then try to understand, and then you can give answers for all the questions. And once you understand the lesson carefully, perhaps you may have to give long answers from this lesson, and also short questions you may have to answer. So all these things you must be prepared for that. For all, first and foremost, what you have to do, you read the lesson once again carefully, and then you can understand. And once you understand the lesson, whatever the question might be, you will be in a position to give answer for that. For Cbse students, short questions and long questions, that you must be very careful about that. You must give your answer precisely and perfectly. Okay, students, with this we'll just close down this transmission, and shall be back in the air.